Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Page 48. We are going to get started. The strength and the limitation of different quantitative research method. So before I get started, I need to make sure that you people are able to understand what is the question or what is the article I'm going to teach you right now. The strength and the limitations of different quantitative research methods, including questionnaire, structure interview, experiment, and content analysis. So, I mean, in my previous lectures, within a minute or so, I'm going to wrap up my whole past lectures. So, quantitative, it's all about quantity. Quantity is all about, we got three different ranges. It's numbers, then we got percentage, then we have rate. Three different categories in quantitative. Quantitative is all about the numbers. So, when I'm planning to start my research and I decided to opt a data, I got two choices. Either the data must be quantitative data or qualitative data. Quantitative is all about the numbers, percentage, and rate. So this is the method. So which kind of data we can collect through this kind of matter? For instance, questionnaire is a method which is used to collect quantitative data. So first, today I'm gonna start with what is questionnaire, as it is mentioned by its term as itself. So questionnaire is basically the set of questions, right? So what is questionnaire? Questionnaire consists of written questions that take one of two forms. Postal questionnaires are normally completed in private without the researcher being present. Today, this include web-based or emailed questionnaire. Second, researcher administered questionnaire are completed in the presence of the researcher with respondent answering questions verbally. These are structure interviews. So, I mean, first of all, what is questionnaire? So simple, it's a set of questions. So whenever we talk about the questions, how to ask different questions to respondent, so we got two methods these days. I mean, first of all, it is possible that we can simply send postal questionnaires. So postal questionnaire is all about, in the absence of a researcher, you can say hundred or thousands of questionnaire are prepared and they simply send through postal address to different people or to respondent. So this is first thing. Second thing is administered, I mean researcher administered questionnaire. So these kind of questionnaires are always prepared and answer in the presence of researcher. So first, postal questionnaire, obviously it is not possible for the researcher to be present everywhere. So without the presence of researchers, questionnaire, it is postal questionnaire. Second, the researcher administered questionnaire, it's all about the researcher is present at the time, and in the presence of researcher we're going to give questionnaire to different people or even in groups, college university students, just to fill it right now, and so we can have a roughly result or the draft what people have the tendency for a certain or a specific issue. So just to explain you what is postal questionnaire. Questionnaires involve two basic type of questions. Close-ended or pre-coded questions involve the researcher providing a set of answer from which the respondent can be choose. The researcher limits the responses that can be given. There are variations on this type of questions, such as those that measure respondent attitude, but their defining characteristics is that they do not allow the respondent to develop an answer beyond the listed categories. In open ended questions, the researcher does not provide the possible answer, rather the respondent answer in their own words. For example, what do you like about studying sociology? This type of questions find out more about the respondent opinions and produces a limited form of qualitative data. Although the main aim of the questionnaire is usually to quantify responses, many questionnaires contain a mix of open and closed questions. So Alhamdulillah. When we talk about the postal questionnaire, in postal questionnaire we got two different type or the set of questionnaires. One is called close-ended. See that close-ended all the time. I used to say, just listen once what I'm saying to you. So every single terminology has, you can say, 50% chances to guess, I mean, what it is all about. So postal questionnaire is obviously is the postal questions, and in postal questionnaire we got close-ended. So close-ended means you don't have any choice of your own. So it's all about the researcher who simply make questions and give respondent a limited choice. So in close-ended questions, a questionnaire, respondent is bound to answer according to the limited choices. He can't choose his own choice. This is close-ended. In open-ended, obviously you have the freedom to say something on your choice. So questions are fixed. In open-ended questionnaire, questions are fixed, but it's simply the choice of the respondent. How can he respond? So I mean, it's an open choice. But the basic function of the questionnaire is all the time to get quantitative result. Quantitative, we are interested in digits because we want to sum up the whole scenario. We can simply check out the responses of the respondent, then we can simply quantify the data. So we are interested to get numbers. And what are the strength of the postal questionnaire? Pre-coded questions make it easier to quantify data because the options are already known. They are limited in number and easy to count. Such questions are also quick and easy to code. This can be just a simple count of the number of responses. Pre-coded questions are useful when the researcher needs to contact large number of people quickly and efficiently. The respondent do the same to do the time-consuming work of completing the questionnaire. Questionnaires can result in highly reliable data because everyone answers the same question. It is easy to replicate the result. The fact the respondent often remain unknown, anonymous, means that the validity of the research is improved, especially when it involves questions that might be seen as personal. This is also less risk that the respondent will give biased answer or try to anticipate what the researcher wants to hear. So, if we talk about the strength of the questionnaire, what is the strength? Obviously you can say it in a particular matter we can get an exact answer to some extent. For instance, I'm interested to know something about the best, or you can say the most popular political party. So if I simply give 1,000 a questionnaire to different categories of people, are the people representing a different locality or the community, so it will be far more easier to get my desired result in this perspective, that I want to know the famous party or the party which is more in these days. So every single person has to answer the same question. The only thing which is required in postal questionnaire or pre-coded questionnaire, you need to count. For instance, if I simply give 1,000 questionnaire to different people, what I need to do, I need to count, I mean, how many people choices are opt for PPP or PTI or PMLN. So I mean, it will be easier. What is required just to count and have a result. So this is reliable. One thing, it is easily replicatable. You can simply replicate the data, no problem at all in it. So this is a strength. And obviously, when the people or the respondent can fill the questionnaire, I mean, it's very difficult to be biased. It's very difficult to be biased. So one can say that I mean, it is reliable, it is easy to replicate, and it is very beneficial for different kind of researcher all the time. I mean, you need numbers so you can replicate the data. So this we have in the strength. When we talk about the limitations of the questionnaire, uh, one significant practical problem with the questionnaire is a low response rate, where only a small number of those receiving a questionnaire return it. This can result in a carefully designed sample becoming unrepresentative because it effectively selects itself. There is also nothing the researcher can do if respondent ignore questions or respond incorrectly, such as choosing to answer when only one was requested. The questionnaire format make it difficult to examine complex issues and opinions. Another weakness in the fact that researcher has to decide at the start of the study what is and is not significant. There is no opportunity to change this later on. The researcher has no way of knowing whether a respondent has understood the question properly. The researcher also has to trust that the questions mean the same thing to all respondents, while remaining unknown may encourage honesty. If someone other than the indeed respondent completed the questionnaire, it will affect the validity and representative of the research. Some of these problems can be avoided by plot studies, but they cannot be totally removed. A further problem involves unintentionally biased questions. These can take a number of forms. If a question has more than one meanings, people will be answering different questions. Secondly, leading questions suggest a required answer. For example, why do you think it is important to study sociology doesn't allow respondent to question whether it is important. If an option is not precisely defined, it will mean different things to different people. For example, people may define the word occasionally or often in a different way. So what are the limitations of questionnaire? There's so many limitations, if I tell you the truth. One of the thing is, uh, we are not sure when we talk about the postal questionnaire. I mean, the very first thing, the very limitation of this questionnaire is people don't want to answer most of the time because they are obviously they have their certain limitation of time. They are not eager, they hardly find time just to fill up for nothing. I mean, obviously they are not interesting, but they can't get out of it by completing the form or the questionnaire. So first of all, most of the people ignore one thing. Secondly, if for instance I'm the teacher, I simply ask my student, you have to fill all this and you have to fill all these questionnaire with your family members as well. So I mean, it is possible there are certain people you can't say no to them, but even then it is not confirmed that either all the people who are committed to fill the questionnaire, are they committing or not. I mean, even it is possible that, for instance, a single person can single-handedly, you can say, fill, for example, 10 to 15 questionnaires. So obviously, it means one can say that most of the time it is difficult to get the desired result. And even if you desire the result, there is a chance of a risk that either it will give you a true representativeness or not. So this is the thing, representativeness, it's always at the risk. One thing. Second thing is that most of the people sometime, I mean, they simply give questionnaires. So even it is possible they need to use simple language, but if you use the language with ambiguity, so obviously it is difficult for people to understand the context in which you people are asking the question. So you need to use simple language. If you're not able to use simple language, ambiguity, people are not that much conscious, I mean, how to answer those questions. So first of all, they ignore. Second thing, most of the people, I mean, they try to fill the questionnaire on their own. Thirdly, they are not interested to go deep in details. So how important this questionnaire is for them, or as a nation, or as a community, so they don't bother. Thirdly, fourthly, it's lack the representativeness. Fifth, I mean, one can say that it's sometime if you use certain terms which got more meanings, or the question which is not able to understand in a particular way, I mean, it is always difficult to answer the questions. For instance, the example which is given, I mean, in this you can say article, it's like occasionally or often. So for instance, you can ask, do you like to watch movies? I simply say occasionally I like to watch movies. So to my point of view, occasionally means, I mean, on occasions you can say that I watch movies or something like that. But even it is possible that occasionally you mean to say no, not often. I mean, sometimes whenever I got free time, I used to see movies. So there are certain terminologies, certain things which have different meanings. So attempting a questionnaire is, as it's itself, it's a big deal. I mean, you need to go in detail. You need to understand the context in which people are giving questionnaire to fill. This is one of the thing which is, you can say, in the limitations of the questionnaire. Right now in this video, I try my level best to give you an insight. What is questionnaire? What is pre-coded questionnaire? Are close-ended? Are open-ended? Or you can say what is the strength, are the limitations of the questionnaire. Hope to see you again. Till then, take great care of yourself and the people around you. Fi amanullah.